Welcome to another edition of the Caregivers Network podcast, the place where family and caregivers come together to learn, grow, and get supported. I'm Reggie Cunningham,
And I'm Marlon Phillips.
and each week we explore personal experiences to help us navigate and deal with the challenges of caregiving with confidence.
And whether you are a loved one, supporting one on the front lines or behind the scenes, we want you to know that we stand with you on today's episode. So, welcome.
All right. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. Today we have Johnny Phil,
Oh, there's Sarah.
Sarah, and Megan. Megan is joining us by phone. And as we are discussing this, we all have children that we are caregivers for. So I will let the ladies tell you a little bit about their stories. And I'm going to start, if you don't mind, with Megan, since she's the one that I don't know.
Oh, sure. So I have two kids on the spectrum, both on the severe end. My son's just turned 11. My daughter's 6.5. My son is autistic, ADHD, and
Wow.
has a learning disability. My daughter is autistic and has muscle weakness. So she took a long time to learn walking. She's still working on her motor skills, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you got
And
your hands full there, young lady.
Yep. And I'm
all
single
right.
momming it too. So,
I was gonna
Hey, my
ask you
heart
that
goes
question.
out to you. Sarah and Johnny Field. No, I've got a 33-year-old daughter, soon to be 34, who is also autistic and developmentally delayed. And I became a single parent 4 years ago.
Mhm.
um,
So I had to learn all this stuff that you're doing now for myself. And it's been difficult. So,
yeah, it's definitely a challenge trying to get it all done yourself.
yeah, being a single parent is no joke. So,
No.
No, a single parent and a caregiver is
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
no joke.
All
And we can
right.
talk more about that, but I want to hear about the rest of you as well. So your story.
Sarah, you wanted to go ahead?
You go. Good morning, everyone. So I'm a mommy to two beautiful boys. My oldest is actually 12, and he was recently diagnosed with autism this year. He had been diagnosed with ADHD about 2 years, 3 years ago, and now I was told that he also has autism, which I feel like it wasn't really a big surprise because I kind of figured there was something more than ADHD with him. Then my other son, my second one, he is 10. He's about to be 11, November 21st, actually tomorrow.
Mm.
And he has autism, and his is in the mild. So he does have a learning disability, but with a lot of support, doctor said that he should be good and independent. My oldest, on the other hand, is a tornado. It's like organization, that comes from basically autism, right? And then you have the ADHD, which is chaos. So he likes a little bit of surprises, but not a lot of changes. So thankfully, my husband, we're Mexican, we're from Mexico. And my husband, at the beginning, I knew something was wrong, but for us, it's like, I'm depressed, mom. No, you're not. You just need to go do the dishes. Or, mom, I feel down today. Okay, well, have you clean your room? That's the type of support we would get. So for me to grow up in the US, I have a different mindset. I knew something was wrong with me as well by the way that it was so hard for me. And I kind of saw it in my kids. And so that kind of took me to do a little more investigation and figure out what was going on with my kids. And then taking all of this information and basically training or teaching my whole family that,
Mm.
hey, this is real. They're not out of it. Because my dad and my mom used to be like, oh, they're just going to grow out of it. I'm like,
Mm.
just hitting his head on the floor. Like, that's not.
Wow. I,
Yeah.
I I was just well, let me interject. So I was going to ask, and I'm certainly this question probably applies to all, but it sounds like there's some cultural differences between what goes on in the United States, meaning that you researched it more for your own edification because you're in the United States, versus in Mexico. I got old school parents too, so my grandmother would have said the same thing. She said, "Oh, that girl or boy, they're gonna be all right. They just hit their head. They'll be okay. You just keep loving them, and they'll come around." So
Oof.
is that culturally what kind of goes on?
Yes, for us as Mexicans, our family focuses more on hard, just work hard. Whatever happens, you just got to work hard, be a good
Mm,
work hard. Family comes first. But obviously, if something happens in your family, your whole family is going to back you up. But with
mhm,
mental issues, it's not the same. My brother-in-law, actually, his wife, um, had postpartum depression. They never knew about it. The doctor just said that she lost it, basically, that she went crazy. And so
mm.
found out that what caused it was postpartum depression. Like, I'm talking about, they found out like about 20 years ago,
Oh,
like
wow.
just now recently. And so yes, in Mexico, it has been where there wasn't back then that much information. Now it's obviously because of all the research and stuff. That's how I was able to teach my family,
Mm,
all the information that we have out there. And I still get people saying everybody's autistic now and everybody has the ADHD now. I'm like, that's not a bad thing though.
no.
Good
Yeah.
thing, because now you know it's happening and you can find better support. My son was really bad in school. Like, he was walking out of classrooms, the one with ADHD, my oldest. But thankfully, I was able to get information of what was going on, and he's in the principal honor list now.
Mm,
Wow.
yeah,
That's great.
it is.
That's hope. So,
Yes.
all
All
right,
right,
let's bring
Johnny.
in Johnny
Listen,
Phil.
let's Johnny Phil. What you got?
Well, thank y'all for having me here first. Let's start right there. I have two daughters. My oldest is 8 years old, and my 6 year old is the one with autism. Her name is Jakani. Great child, really loving. Honestly, my mom was the one that caught the autism part since she was maybe like 9 months, ten
Oh, really?
months. Yes, my mom used to tell me from then, like, Johnny, I think there is something with Jakani.
Hmm.
And I used to be like, no, why are you saying that? Like, I used to be that mom that was like, no, don't
Right.
put that on my child. That's what I would
Mm,
pretty much put it at.
yeah.
Mom used to tell me, like, she was pretty much seeing the difference between Jamila, the oldest, and Jakani. And she used to be like, by milestones. She used to be like, I don't know, Jamila by 8 months old, she used to do this, and Jakani is not there. And I used to be like, well, every kid is different. Plus, she was born in 2019. So during that time, they start COVID and all that
Hmm.
stuff. So it was
Right.
like, I mean, kids are more locked in. They don't have that much, like exposure with different kids and all of that, as Jamila maybe had it. So I was like, maybe it's just different. She's just taking a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the year, my mom used to be like, Johnny, I think there is something with your cat.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
used to be like, what's your problem? I used to be so offended because it was new. It was something that I never like had in my bingo cards, I would say. And I was like, no, maybe she's just different. Every kid is different. Then at 2 years old, that's when my mom was like, listen, I need you to tell the doctor. There might not be anything, then that's fine. She's like, but let's be more preventful
Mm-hmm.
than not, than just let it be. So at 2 years old, I remember that when I was on her checkup, I was like, oh, my mom want me to tell you. My mom want me to tell you that I don't think nothing wrong with my child, but she want me to tell you that there might be something there. Doctor was
Mhm.
like, what's going on? And I was like, my mom is saying that she's not doing her milestone as it should be. So
Mm-hmm.
they did a test and they say, okay, it's not autism, but it's absolutely, she has a speech delay. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, well, easy peasy, right? Not. So then they said, but at 2.5, we can test her again and see how things going. So in at 2.5, we test her again, and they say it's no autism, but we can get her to Shelby. No, let me say to Tennessee first intervention for them
Mm-hmm.
to see if there's something there, and they can give her OT and a speech and all the good stuff. So I was
Right.
like, perfect, thank you. She started getting therapy, and they were like, yep, speech delay. That was about it. By 3 years old, she gets transferred to Shelby County since she was supposed to be going to school and all of this. And they were like, and Shelby County tells me, it's not autism, but we need to label her as autistic so she can start pre-K. And like that, she can get better services and more time in school and all the good stuff. So I was like, okay, I guess, but by then, mind you, Sarai, for those that don't know, she's the sister of my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been, we have been friends for years and years. So by then I already knew about Sarah and her son, and by then it was just the middle one. That's the only one that we all knew that was autistic. So I kind of was seeing that, and with Sarah and everything. And I believe I used to talk to Sarah about that too. Like, hey, and Sarah used to be all the time like, listen, these are resources and in case of anything. And I used to tell her like, well, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, So a 3-year-old, she started going to pre-K, and then they start doing more tests, and they're like, okay, yes, it is autism, but it is really mild.
Mm-hmm.
Jacani is what I call a non-conversational person. She is verbal, really verbal. She doesn't shut up.
Wonder where she gets that from.
I know, right? I don't know. She loves singing and all of that, but she will not do the hello, how are you? She's not gonna be like, oh, I'm fine, and you. No. She can say hello. That's the most that she might go back and forth with you. But she will tell you if she's hungry, if she's this, if she's that, but she's not going to have a full-blown conversation with you at all.
Conversation,
At all. You can ask her questions about like, what is this, what is that? She will say if she wants to. But it's not that she wants to just engage in conversations with people, which I don't even know if it's that she doesn't want to or she doesn't know how to. And something that Sarah was saying and about the cultural aspect of it, I was really shocked that my mom was actually really she has always been really supportive from day one. And even when she told me about seeing differences with Yakani, she was never like in a judging way. It was more like, I'm worried and I want us to do the best we can.
Right. We talked to another young lady, and all of you guys are mothers. And we all concurred that there's something about a mother's intuition that they know their child, So to you and Sarah's point, I was thinking about maybe you went to Sarah and said, my son has some of the characteristics that Sarah's son has, and maybe I want to rethink this. That's first. Second, I get it that, I know my child relative to your mother's conversation, and, you're kind of like in denial. I'm saying that to say that nobody on this call 10 years ago, 15 years ago said, you know what, I'm going to be a caregiver. Okay. Yes, God just puts it on you. You don't go to class. Nobody puts it in their plan. So the unique thing that we all have on this call, and that's kind of how Reggie and I developed this, is that we have caregivers characteristics in common. Some of the things that you guys have said, I've experienced myself, and I'll just give you a quick overview about me and how it relates to you. I didn't sign up for caregiving, but my 85-year-old mother ended up coming to live with me. So she lived to be a right old 92 years old, but she suffered from dementia and Parkinson's. So I didn't sign up for the caregiving. To your credit, God always puts the right person with the right people. So she used to tell me that, and now listening to you guys, I believe that's so. But it was a situation where she wasn't going to get better, and the dementia is a very debilitating disease, and there's no cure for it. You just have to ride it out. That brought Reggie and I together just because he takes care of his daughter. I'm taking care of my mother, and we didn't realize how much we had in common as caregivers. The challenges that they're having may be different, but some of the things that you guys have said are definitely common among caregivers.
Yeah.
And I commend you for seeing that. And that's why we started this, so that we could hear your story, maybe share some stuff with you, because you guys are sharing plenty for me anyway.
Yeah.
And that's our mission, and that's how we got here.
Absolutely. Something that I love about this, I guess I'm one of the ones that always says that autistic kids, and specifically in that part, were given to us to teach us patience.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
If you start paying
Let
attention,
me
every
interject something
person.
here to you, because something I'm going to share this with you, and Reggie and I talk about this often. And this is for everybody on the call, okay? We have a mantra, and this is it. We ask God to give us strength, because the challenges that we have as caregivers, your patience will be tested.
100%.
So we pray for strength for all of us to endure the patience that we have to deal with our challenging
I swear.
The other part of that, I'm sorry, but the other part of that is that when I prayed for patience, God tested me. So I no longer pray for patience.
We pray for strength.
Go ahead, Megan. You want to say something?
Oh no, I'm just like everything we're talking about right now is like it's kind of coming in waves because like uh the same thing with like our generation not really getting the support we needed as kids. Like I remember my parents like when I was getting ready to go into school, getting a cognitive test before going in, and the person saying, "All right, either your daughter's got ADD or she's a genius." And my parents are like, "Oh, well, obviously we're going to choose the genius because we don't want our child to, yeah, we don't want to think that our child has this debilitation in her life."
Yeah.
And like just this year, I'm 37. Just this year, I'm like seeing stuff in my son who's like his ADHD, and I'm all like, "Oh my God, if I had gotten the support I needed when I was his age, like because like I had terrible grades in school. I was finishing my homework like last second, and it's just like,
don't take that personal. I'm in that club.
yeah, right. But I'm just like, man, like if my parents had like listened and were all like, oh, well, maybe we should look into this, like that would have helped. Like
it was also I'm so sorry. It was also different times.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, now it's more common. Now it's more, I mean, you even see now even people getting annoyed at the fact that we all want to label it as autism or ADHD or something.
Yeah. And to your point about the times, it's funny, our family is very close-knit, and Reggie can tell you that. But interestingly, our aunt taught the special education class for the elementary school for the entire city. So this had to be back in late 60s, early 70s, you know, when I was there. And they just used to put anybody that was different, if you will, physically or mentally, they would just put them in her special ed class. So she had the whole gambit from, you know, wheelchair bound to ADHD, autistic, all of them were in her class. And we always used to eat dinner as a family on Sundays. Now, she wouldn't have the conversation with the children, but at the adult table, it was always a conversation about her students and how, you know, she wanted to make it better, but she just had so many. She might have 30 kids, but all of them have different functions to you guys' point, everything that you guys had here. So we kind of talked about it, but we didn't talk about it, but she was passionate about getting the stigmatism off and people's thoughts. But as I said, they just looped them all into what they called special ed. There was one classroom that they were in. And, you know, just because of the times, you know, they would get ostracized a lot, you know, just because everybody knew that class. And if you were in there, you know, so to your point about
the labels were different by then, you know.
Oh yeah, much different. I didn't want to say that, but the labeling of the children was different back then.
Exactly. And that's something that when what Sarah say about that, people say that now we have more autistic kids. I was just having this conversation with my mom this week where she was saying like, well, she was asking me if I want to have another child. And I told her that by having my second child being autistic, personally, to me, is unfair, knowing that she's autistic, having another child that might come up also autistic, and then my first child will have to kind of have to deal with that. So I felt like one should be enough for her to kind of help me with. I just felt like I didn't want to bring another child to give her that burden, because it's not her place
Mhm.
in a way, So we were talking about that. My mom was like, I just feel like it has to be something that you ate, something that this
Oh,
and that,
wow.
I
Environmental
think,
factors.
right. And she's like, I think it's like in the food. No, she said, I think it's like in the medications and stuff like that. And I was like, well, Jamila had the same exact stuff that Jakani had.
Right.
And I was like, bet if we think about it, I was like, Mommy, autism has always been around. The problem is that we're labeling it different.
Mhm.
Before, you guys used to call it the crazy kid in the school, the retard, the slow
Yeah, there
one.
you go. I wasn't going to say it, but that's when I came, but that's what the word retard.
That's just what it was. I'm like, in every
Yeah,
classroom, in every single classroom, since we were really little, y'all were really little, you can think about that one that was just
Different.
couldn't read out loud. It was really awkward. It was the weird kid. It's so many things. And I'm like, by then nobody was looking into this kid needing extra help. Y'all just putting him on a label and kept him there. So. I'm like, it's just everywhere. I'm like, in every family, we always have that one family member that is the weird one. He's just, or we have that grandfather that he always wake up at the same time, eats the same meals every single day, sits at the same spot in the table, and you cannot change him anything because he flip out. He just go crazy. Oh, but that's just grandpa. He likes it that way. No, grandpa has a problem, and grandpa doesn't know he has a problem.
Yeah, but
because there's no reason that sitting down in different chairs to freak you out like that.
In our culture, a child would dare not say anything like that.
I know.
About his aunt, uncle, or any elder. There could be consequences for that.
Because that was disrespectful.
Right.
Yes.
But
Sarah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I don't think it's just, I know we're talking about how they were labeling it, but I don't think it's just labeling it. I think a lot of it was misinformation or information that we did not have back there. Because remember, all of this stuff, all of this more research, more support didn't start back then in the 90s, like 2000 maybe up, and then we started to see more and more and more, which is, I think that's what it was. Because I saw some, I was crying my eyes out. I was looking at some documentary about how autistic kids were basically treated as crazy kids.
Yeah.
They would be sent to asylums and things like that in the 80s still, and so I think, and back then we even called special education or special ed, we used to call it.
Yes.
Now it's functional skills.
Yeah. Yeah. Or challenge child.
So I think all of this that's why, because my husband used to come home and be like, I was talking to my cousin at work, and they were saying how everybody now is artistic and this, and I'm like, well, they should be glad. That means we're getting more support. There's more information out there. Because like, from what Megan was saying about school, I saw a lot of my son in me. The only difference is my mom never went to school for me because I was always the quiet child that was sitting. I loved sitting in a corner where the teacher wouldn't see me. I would be, if it was something that I liked, I would pay so much attention. I would have high grades. But as soon as a bird landed outside the window, my attention was gone. It's like, you lost me there. Like, if there was a book that I had to read, I would read a whole, it's been what? I graduated in 2009, and I still can remember 2 books I read in high school.
Wow.
They're the only ones. I can tell you about those books up and down. But the rest of them, I have no idea, because it just, I wasn't something I was interested in. My oldest.
What does that say about me? Because I don't remember any of my books I read in high school.
You didn't like any of those books. That's what it means.
Exactly.
So, wow.
What
do you ladies wish you could do to make it easier for others in your situations?
For me, I think it's just parents being more accepting when they're given that information, because that would help me a lot. But also, like, even in school, like, I'm a huge artist. I love to sketch. So I would sketch in my books. There would be teachers that would be like, no, you need to pay attention. You're not supposed to do that. But it focused my ADHD so I could listen to what they were saying better. So like the teachers that noticed that me drawing in their class made my grades go up, or like listening to music during a test helped me focus, like stuff like that. Just like little things like that can really make a huge difference. So
it's taken like forever for us to learn that different people learn different ways.
Differently.
Different.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so
With
it's hard.
autism or without autism,
Right.
it's just a
Yeah.
it's a people's
Exactly,
thing.
exactly. And like, Sarah was talking about, she figured out she had, ADHD, and we didn't know it, but I believe my wife had ADHD. Now, Marlon, you can, tell me, because she was that one that was quiet, and
Yes.
she rocked, but she was very studious too and very smart.
Yeah.
And but she could never stay still. She
Yeah.
was
The one
constantly
thing about
moving.
her too, she was our family historian. I think
Ah,
she
she
just
know
took,
everything.
Oh
uh,
yeah.
I mean, just detailed history. So much
Yeah.
so that their daughter Artesia, once she gets a birthday in and ties it to a person, she knows she'll click
That's
it
it.
off.
Hmm.
Everybody's birthday down to the date, time, all of that stuff. I experienced that with her when Reggie and Artesia came to visit my mom. It was Austin's birthday,
Probably, yeah, because it was February. Yeah, it was Austin's
and
birthday.
she reminded us of his birthday, the date and time, so we
I
didn't forget.
love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's some autistic folks that you can tell them what day you were born, like way back in the day, and they can tell you what day of the week that was without
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
like it's
yeah.
crazy. It's
We all have
wild.
similar things in common. Like, Johnnyville was talking about Jakani singing, and I remember when our teacher was young, she wake up first thing in the morning and start singing at the top of her lungs.
Mhm,
Right.
We're
yeah,
talking
kind of.
about 6 o'clock in the morning before
Yeah.
the birds got up. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I say that to transition into this is that, our challenged children are sometimes our greatest challenges, but they're
Yeah.
also our greatest joys.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
They
Yes.
definitely teach you to experience and celebrate the small things in life,
Oh
Yes.
yeah, oh
small
yeah.
victories.
Because I was gonna say with our family, when Artesia came along, we knew she was challenged, but when she was at a family gathering, we just
Everybody love
loved
her the
on her.
same.
We just loved on
Mhm.
her like everybody else. She didn't get any less love. She probably got more love
Yeah.
than everybody. And that's we just
Yeah.
the grandparents would pray that she would get better and pray that, Reggie and Candy have strength to continue to manage and take care of her. And, the end result is where we are now. But we were just a little different in that regard.
Yeah.
We had some aunts. I had an aunt of mine. It's no doubt Aunt Joyce, Reggie.
I
It's
know who
no
you're talking.
doubt my aunt was autistic and had ADHD. It's absolutely no doubt. She lived with my grandparents her entire life.
Yeah.
She had one boyfriend. I'll tell you a funny story. She had one boyfriend. She met the guy, handsome guy. And I'm sorry, but we in the family, we could not figure out how she got this handsome guy. We could not figure that out. But he was really a handsome guy. I mean, and this was old school. He used to come court her at my grandmother's house. And my grandmother and grandfather, they had a living room, a big console TV, and they would court each other in the living room together, just around the corner from her parents and my grandfather.
Oh my
So
goodness.
they ended up getting married and stuff like that. It didn't last long, but we were like, hey, just I don't know how you got this guy, but it didn't work out. And I think it's because of her challenges that she had. That was her favorite pastime after she got a divorce, to just sit in the window at her mom and dad's house and just gossip on the phone.
Yeah.
I
I
will
will.
say this to her credit. When she gave you some gossip, it was accurate as all get out. She
Mhm.
There,
said
it,
that they
yes,
said this, you better believe somebody said it. And she wouldn't give up her
yes.
sources.
Mhm.
My oldest, who has autism and ADHD, every time I take him to a doctor appointment, and the doctor or any adult that he talks to, he will talk to death. But everything he tells you, it's facts. And if you
Yes.
ever ask him a question, he will be the most literal kid. Rosa probably told Jannifield this already. When Rosa, I asked her to pick him up, she's like, Sarah, don't ask me to do this no more. I'm like, why? What happened? Castiel been talking to me about I don't know how many miles from here to the moon, and then if you do this, and
Wow.
I don't know how to follow that conversation. Just
Yeah.
like all you gotta do is just listen, sister. There's nothing else you can do. And
I think he's fun to talk to.
yes, and to what you were talking about, your aunt getting married, um, me now that I know I have ADHD, I understand a lot of things that I do now.
Right.
And my husband it's my husband. It's very Mexican. Like he changed a lot. Like his whole family are very macho man, like with that Mexican kind of like the women should be in the kitchen or whatever. My husband, thankfully, is not like that.
Right.
But now that I know what I have and we experience it with our son, he kind of understands things that I'm doing. Like before I used to be like, I don't feel like doing anything today. Like I would just have that power down because the day before I did so many things. And he would be like, really? Like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel like it. And he would just, my whole family would just look at it like, mm-hmm. He's being lazy again.
I hear you.
Or I would come home, guys, I've come home with a brand new car. Okay. I've come home and I said, we're buying a house. I've told him, I need you to take me to the furniture store. And he said, why? I said, I'm looking for a new couch. And
Like,
I'll just do this random things like that. And he's just, before he would just tell me, Flaca, we got to look at our finances. Flaca, this and that. I'm like, hey, God will provide. Let's do it.
I like
Now,
that. Yes,
and now it's like he tries to go more with the flow and understands more where my little bursts come from. Like sometimes I want him to hug me all day, but sometimes I don't even want him to touch me. I don't even want to see him. And so I tell him, hey, when I tell you I don't want to see you, I don't want you to touch me, do it backwards. Like hug me, tell me everything is going to be okay. And it calms me down a lot.
Wow.
If I get mad and I scream to the top of my lungs, I tell him, scream back and just tell me, okay, it's okay. And he does that now. He's like, Flaca, calm down. I'm like, okay, I'm just saying, like, I'm not screaming. I'm just, like as a couple, having that partner that it's willing to learn,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and not just learn about your kids, but also understanding and figuring out where your marriage is going, how to make it last longer, and little things like I don't like change. I will tell you guys, I do not like change. But he knows that. So if there's something that's going to happen, he will make sure that he tells me like way before. And Jennifer, you know this. If you guys make plans, and Rosa is my sister is one of the people that will make plans and tell me like 2 or a week before, I will not. I will do it and I will cancel it last minute. Right, Jenny? Like I am no for canceling things. Because you cannot tell me like a week or 2 before. I have to have like a whole month before doing something for me to my brain to put everything where it's supposed to go. Even for we went to Disney, I had to plan 6 months in advance because I wanted to make sure I had control over everything.
And that's part of the ADHD mind too, because
Yes.
I just went on a trip with my friends to Japan for 2 weeks, and I was the planner. I had to have everything planned out. I had to make sure all the reservations were made.
Yeah.
Like I needed to map out like what trains we were going to take and stuff like that. It had to be in my brain. I was terrible at navigating, but I wanted it planned out.
If I was traveling with you, I'd have let you handle it. You go ahead, you take care of that.
Yeah, like you do.
I'll take care of the bars and the drinking. You take care of the logistics. But on the serious side, I was going to ask, because we've had situations and talked to people. I see, sir, you're different because you're married. And Johnny Paul and
Johnny Phil.
So you're single parent as well?
No, I'm also married.
So you're married. So
recently married.
Super recently.
Congratulations.
So we were asking about just spouses and the support that you get, because we've seen both sides of the spectrum. We've seen some husbands that were not very open to their wives' mother coming to live with them. We've seen wives where they were not happy with their husband's dad coming to live with them, and it strained their relationship. So we just always ask the question of, how is your relationship? And I know it's challenging just because you got challenging kids, but I like, Sarah, what you said when you got somebody that understands. And that's kind of been our focus. If you have to have somebody that understands the situation, and all of this comes as a package. I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah. So I would like to first answer Reggie's first question, because we never even got to answer that one. I feel, and that's something just because I want to point it out. one of the main things that I will help every mom or every parent going through all this journey is people to learn about kindness. Sometimes people forget that kids are going to be kids regardless, because a lot of time, even us that we have autistic kids and everything, sometimes we want to blame everything on the autism or on the whatever. And I have a lot of people that tell me, that's just kids. Kids do that all the time. Like, you know, even teachers on the school, they're like, no, they all do that. Like, it's not because of her autism or anything. It's just, they do that. It's within their age range. You know, so sometimes we tend to put everything on that label. So I know a lot of autistic parents, they prefer not to take their kids out or not to have them on birthday parties or whatever, because they don't want their kids to, let's say when they get tired, they want to start screaming or everything like that, and you don't want people to judge you or bother anybody or mess up anything. But I feel like number one, is unfair. Because your kids doesn't deserve, you know, they weren't born for you to have them locked down in a room type of thing, you know, right? We learned that that doesn't work or help because of people back in the days, right? So they do need to have the interaction, but it also being kind to understanding, like, you know, let everybody know, oh, she's autistic. So what I'm expecting from you is to chill the heck down. It's kind of like, if she be supportive. It's like, if she's freaking out, I don't need you to be looking at me all crazy because my child is freaking out in this moment. It's kind of like, find ways. And I have a great village. So I know I'm talking from a place of, I guess, having it, like, you know, like I have a great support and have a great group. And I guess that's why I'm so comfortable speaking up about it. And I tell people, like, just, why are you being like this? Let her, like, she's screaming, like, chill, you know. And I hate when I go through, let's say, to places where I see people looking at her crazy or looking at her like, oh, she don't have no control of her child. She's a child. She's 6. She's 6. If she has a balloon and the balloon pop, any kid will freak out, you know. So now she's gonna freak out maybe a little bit longer because she's always autistic. But if you be kind about it, understand, maybe things wouldn't have to go that way. So that's something that I would like for people to kind of have in their mind. And also talking to their kids. You have other kids, it's easy to explain to them about autism. It's really easy. It's easy to talk to kids about everything, honestly. Kids understand things way faster than
Let me ask you, so how do kids in your group, how do kids react if your child has like a situation? How do children respond to that?
There are some kids that they might look at her like, what's wrong with her? You know, because she might be freaking out more than anything. But a lot of them, like, okay, so let me tell you what happened one time. My daughter, and actually that's how we have a group of best friends now, because they have also a 8-year-old just like me, and they were in the same classroom as Jamila. And their 5-year-old and my 6-year-old, also autistic, right? The way that this relationship started is because Jamila had a family tree that she has to explain in her school, right? She was in her school or whatever. And she said, and this is my sister, Jacani. Jacani is autistic. And what that means is that she learned things differently and she needs extra help.
Oh, wow.
That was easy to explain. Everybody got it. Everybody got it.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have to go with a wall because, you know, like, no, it was just like, she's autistic, and she explained that perfectly. And that's how her other friends say, oh, my sister is autistic too.
Oh,
they became friends.
Yeah.
We used to pick up the kids together, got to talk to them. Oh yeah, she always talk about him, blah, blah. And now we all like kicking it all the time together, having the kids together, because, you know, they all kind of, we're all going through the same thing.
Right.
So it's like, it's easy to just talk to kids. It's like, I've seen kids look at my kids crazy, and I'm like, oh, hey, she's autistic. And they're like, what is that? And I'm like, she learns things differently. So if you can just, you know, give her a little bit more patience, more extra help, you know, she will get it. And I tell them, and I'm like, and talk to her the same way, because she understands. She just take her a little bit longer too.
Wow, so out of the mouths of babes comes the peace. You
Yes.
guys all agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that was interesting. So just let the children convey the message, and maybe us as adults will see the picture, and everybody will be a little, as you say, calm and relaxed.
Yes, and that's what I'm telling you. The kids, sometimes people are like, well, it's too early to talk to them about this, too early to talk to them. I'm like, kids are so easy to talk. Like, they get things way faster because they don't have all the other things that we have as an adult, you know? We complicate things more because we have, I don't know, more values, morals, religion, society, all those things together. Kids don't have none of that in their head.
It's because we're grown-ups. That's why things get complicated.
Yeah. I think Maggie said the kids don't have baggage, so
Yeah.
So, but I will
Yeah.
tell you, Johnny Phil, I feel you when, Jakani might be acting up and folks are looking at you strange. But I'm also tell you that there would be people who will give you a lot of grace
Mhm.
and
Exactly.
understand, and that is really helpful, and it makes you feel better.
Yes,
I've
and
gone
that's how
through,
it helps.
yeah, that I've gone through some of those episodes, and where there's nothing I could do, and our teacher's just acting crazy, and I just got to let her have her get it out of her system, so to speak. And folks are like, they look at me and they just like understand. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Megan, and I will tell you guys, I admire Megan so freaking much
Mhm,
because we've been
mhm.
going to field trips, right? And I always get this where they ask me, "Oh, how did you do it? Your son is so well behaved, blah blah blah," and I'm like, I just bet he has an older brother and a little brother, right? So
Hmm.
if one gets punished for something, all three of them, if nobody's telling me who did it. So we
Yeah.
try to basically focus that he's autistic, yes, but the only thing we got to focus on that is that he's going to learn differently, like
Mhm.
Jennifer said. And that's it. We don't have to make a special
Mm.
things for him
Interesting.
because why would we? We want him to learn that
Yeah.
good things are good. But when we go to field trips, Megan Harper is on the more severe, and I've seen Harper have a meltdown, and this is the one that is stuck in my head. We went to the fire
Yes.
Museum.
Museum.
museum, yes, and he lost a glove,
Hmm.
Oh,
and
wow.
because that one glove, it took Megan so long to calm him down. Everybody was in the bus already,
Yep.
but he wouldn't calm down, and you should have seen everybody was trying to find this glove for Harper.
It turns out it was in his jacket,
Yeah.
Oh,
like in the armpit of his
wow.
jacket. Like he took
Exactly.
his jacket off at
Wow.
some point.
Yes, but to see Megan, like I could see everybody else just kind of like, please, Harper, just like, getting a little like, we gotta
Frustrated.
go, we
Frustrated.
gotta go,
So,
we gotta
so let
go.
me ask you, when they do that, so was it that particular glove, or you think any glove would have sufficed, or it had to be that glove?
I'm sure it was that one.
It was
He
that
he
It
only
had to
glove.
has
be
one pair
that
of
glove,
Yeah,
gloves.
it had to
not
be that
just
glove.
anybody else's other glove.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
But
uh,
I'm
He
telling you,
just oh, go ahead.
sorry, I'm telling you guys, Megan, oh, I
She kept
need,
it together,
when
right?
you guys pray for patience, pray for hers, because Megan, I salute to you. Like the way he threw himself on the floor and she made sure that he wasn't hurting himself. And
Wow.
at the same time, making sure that he wasn't hurting someone else,
Right.
because he was
Exactly.
pulling
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And I was like, I only remember one episode, and my son was in his car seat and he was crying so bad that he almost passed out. This was like way, way before, when he was about 3 years, and they were just talking to us about he might be have autism. So my
Hmm.
husband, no, this is not normal. Like I didn't know
Mm.
how to scream to the top of my lungs. This is not normal to my husband.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Megan, I mean, ever since Megan and I started chatting, from a one conversation, we've been together ever since.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
had so many
Wow.
conversations.
But I'll tell you guys, when you're talking about the mind and learning, I had an episode with my mother. She had dementia bad. So the nurses and doctors said if she has a dementia moment, and she could be talking just like now, and all of a sudden she'll just stop and gaze
Hmm.
and just goes wherever their mind is going. So her nurse had her at lunch, and they're downstairs and they're having lunch, and the nurse used to make her write to get her hand-eye coordination and letters and stuff. And everything was fine. She was writing her letters, writing her grandchildren, great-grandchildren's name, and she had a dementia moment. And when she did, the nurse just let her keep writing. And it went from legible letters to almost like an EKG,
Hmm.
the scribbling lines, but the letters were in the scribbling lines, and it came back. And we just let her write for the whole 30 minutes that she had that situation. And after that was over, she came back and started writing. Now, she had no recollection of it, doesn't
Mhm.
remember what happened, but we showed her the page. I swear, it's like their mind goes to that dementia moment. And it really made me see that, the brain does have different activity when they're having a situation. To the
Yeah.
point about when your children are having just a challenging moment, it'd be interesting to see what their brain waves look like. 'Cause obviously they're going through something,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because I was going to ask this. So when you get them calmed down, making you get them calm down, Paul, Sarah, y'all get them calmed down. do they recall or recollect anything that transpired or have remorse or sorrow for it or anything like that?
So my son, neither of my kids are very verbal, so the communication there is a bit muddled, but like
Mm-hmm.
I can tell when he comes out of moments like that, like
Mm.
he does kind of feel, I don't know if he necessarily like
Understand.
cognitively
Mm-hmm.
understands, but
Mm.
I can tell the feeling is there. Like he's like, I know that's not normal. That wasn't me. And he'll say, I'm
Mm.
sorry.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it happens. I just was doing homework with Jakani Tuesday, and she's in kindergarten now. And she had to repeat kindergarten, so she was able, so she can actually go back and learning all of this. The point is that she was doing math homework. I asked her three plus two. She said five. She has to write it down. She knew it was five, but her brain was not matching. It's
Mm.
like her brain was completely forgot about the shape of number five.
Mm-hmm.
So I was making a video because I've been recording lately her doing homework because number one, I'm really proud. I'm really proud to see her doing math problems. You know, I never thought that would be a thing during a time, you know, and seeing her doing those stuff. The point is that I've been recording her and I was recording myself. I completely forgot I was recording her. And it's like, she's like 3 plus 2, 5. She kept writing like a weirder 2. It's like she kind of had the idea that it was kind of shaped like that, but then she wasn't understanding the opposite side and all of this. And her brain was like, and she looked at it and she say, no. And then she erased it. And then and I'm like, 5. She did that 3 times and her brain was not,
Mm.
but she
It
kept
wasn't
looking at it
connecting with her
and
hands.
telling herself no. Like she kept looking at it like this is not what I want to do.
mhm.
You know, so I wrote in a piece of paper the number 5 and I told her, look, 5, 5. And she did one more time wrong and then she finally got it right. And
Mm.
you could see the relief in her, like, this is
Yeah.
what I was trying to do this whole time.
Mm.
My son's had those moments too, doing his ABCs. Like he knows in his head, he's done it so many different times. He knows what it looks like, but then he'll start putting it on the paper and you can just see his mind kind of like the
Yes.
gears starting to slow down and then like he's really thinking about it and he
Mm-hmm.
may be able to finish it properly, but if he doesn't, he just ends up scribbling something and then he gets upset about it.
Exactly. And that's the worst part. What I'm telling you this, like, we did that part and then you have to write numbers from 80 to 100. By 88, her brain just couldn't do it no more.
Oh,
So she
wow.
kept writing 88, 88, 88, 88, 88. And I'm like, 89, 89. And she was just 88, 88, 88. When she finally did it to 89, I was like, okay, baby, you know what? Let's go to sleep.
Yeah.
I put her to bed because I was like, obviously, you know, we all have one of those moments. We're born now. It's just so much. And I was
Right.
like, you know, I'm seeing it just in a different way. So I was like, that's where kindness come from, right? And I was like, I think she already had dinner and everything. We're doing kind of like it was a Tuesday. So we go to swimming classes after school. We have to do homework. You know, it was just a lot. I put her in bed around like 6:30. She went to sleep straight to 6:30 the next day.
Mm.
She was just so tired. And I was like, you see, that's what you needed, a good nap.
Hey, sometime I needed a good nap. So
Right?
that brings me to
Exactly.
this point. So my mother used to ask me all the time, she was like, son, what's going to happen to me if something happens to you, the caregiver? So I just want to throw that question out on the table. What happens to your child, or especially if something happens to you individually and collectively as the primary caregiver?
I think that's the thing that all of us, and I will speak for all of us, I'm sure that Sarah and Megan, like, that's one of the things that break our hearts just when we think about what is going to happen. Do you know what's crazy is that, and this might sound a little bit morbid, but you know how we normally parents pray that their kids outgrow them?
Right.
Sometimes I pray that I outgrow my daughter. Just because of that, at least right now, right? It's like, I'm so afraid that me not being here, she will have to suffer.
Right.
You know, like that people wouldn't treat her with the same kindness, with the same love, with the same patience.
Yeah.
So as morbid as crude as this might sound, it's kind of like I don't want to see that. Now later on in life, when I feel like Jamila is grown, right? Jamila is already 20, right? Like she has her thing. Right now, I'm fixing all her things for Jamila to have enough funds that whenever they grow up, Jamila can take care of her and all of this. But as of right now, when I know Jamila can even take care of herself.
Yeah.
So I want to share with you, Johnny Field, that you touched me. You made me tear up over here because I distinctly remember telling my son that our teacher may not live very long, and I was just scared because we all want our children, like you said, to outlive us.
That's the plan.
But then you get to a point where if something happens to us individually, what's going to happen to them? So, and I don't have as much of a fear now because I put some things in place for Austin to take care of his sister. But yet again, I know no one's going to take as good a care of her as I do, you know.
Right.
And I'm not even a mother, I've had to learn to be like this because this is my child. And like I told Marlon, if I don't take care of her, Candace is going to come back and haunt me. So,
You better know it. And the thing is this, I don't know if that's true that Artisha wouldn't have much to leave, but if let's say that by the time that she leaves this world and you're still alive, at least you know that she was extremely loved and well taken care of during that time.
Yeah.
Because we all seen it, we all been there, you know what I mean? Like, there is nothing to be regretful, I guess, whenever, if that really happens.
We said when you're doing the best that you absolutely can.
Absolutely.
There's nobody other than Jesus that can take better care of your child.
And that's exactly where she's going. So
yeah.
I don't know. I do want. I think I feel like I have such a strong emotional support. Me and my sister Rosa fight all the time like cats and dogs. We're sisters. But I feel like if anything were to ever happen to me, like she's my emergency contact for not even my husband is my emergency contact like she is. And me and my husband have talked about it. Like we never talk about like for who lives first and who doesn't. We always talk about who's going to take care of him and what's going to happen, And so we always, okay, Flaco, if something happens, you know what you're supposed to do. And if something happens to you, Rosa knows what she's supposed to do, because I don't even talk to my sister about this, but unconsciously I know that and I feel bad for her because unconsciously I feel like, okay, you're going to take care of my kids because I know you will, and I know I'm putting pressure on my sister, which is why I don't talk to her a lot about,
No, but you should, just to be prepared. Because, I don't know if Sarah and Megan, if you guys know really Reggie's story, but it's like he lost his wife. And even though he was obviously a active father in his household, at the end of the day, as a mom, we do all the extracurricular activities that's it's not that they don't care, it's just they're not being involved because we are the ones that take care of it, right? Like the routines of taking them to I don't know, their teachers' names, right? Like the doctor's appointments, dentists, stuff like that. And he had to take on all of that, plus from being a autistic child, to learn all of this out of nowhere.
So I'll share a funny story that we laugh about. So once Candace passed away, he had to take up all of our teachers' medical requirements. So, I mean, the irony of it is you got 2 males and 3 females on this call. So our teacher's a female. She had to go to the gynecologist, and Reggie was like,
right, exactly.
Something that his wife took care of. So with a woman with you guys, it would be, that's just the natural progression. But because of the circumstances and losing Candace, he had to step up, not only for that doctor, but all of the things associated with making sure she was taken care of on the medical side.
Exactly.
So there's some uncomfortable situations.
Exactly. So I was talking just with my husband yesterday. I was like, imagine, I was telling him about Reggie's story. I'm like, imagine having to do all of that, because you're comfortable with like, Jacani's here and I'm here, but what if I die?
Right. And so that was the thing that I didn't prepared for it. I had always told Candace, like, if something happens to me, first thing you do, pay off the house. You got more than enough money to do that and live comfortably on, right?
Mhm.
But I never thought about her dying before me.
Mhm.
And, like Marlon was saying, it took me 9 months to figure out how to figure out who Candace's gynecologist was. I had no clue. And that shows me now, looking back, one, I was still in grief, and two, I just didn't have the wherewithal to try to deal with all of that. And I finally figured out, we have insurance, call the insurance company, and they'll tell you.
But sometimes they won't if they don't understand all the legal ramifications of you losing your wife. Now, he's got to come in and take guardianship of his daughter. It's just a lot of legal wrangling that you have to do that's not
Mhm.
enough for you until a situation comes. So what we try to do on this call is tell people, like, get all of your power of attorney, get all of that stuff in place.
Yeah.
And when my mother came with me, because she was with me for so long, I had time to get all of that stuff in place, because there were a couple of situations where she got sick and I had to take her to the hospital. Case in point, she got sick during COVID. And I live in the Washington, D.C. area. And the rule was during COVID that you can bring the sick person to the emergency room, but you can't come in with them. We'll wheel them in and we'll get to them. But I mean, I've got a 90-year-old woman. You think I'm going to just take her to the emergency room and just leave her?
Right.
Mhm.
So thank God I had the documents in place to allow me to go back with her, and
Yeah.
explain how she feels versus what you guys may be trying to treat her for and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It just word
And what
of
if you had someone who
just
couldn't speak?
Right.
Like,
Right.
well, that was my issue, since I took care of her. I mean, I knew her daily routine, and I didn't want them, one, to either over medicate her or treat her based on symptoms that she saw, because she might just be having a regular day. So
Okay.
somebody
Yeah.
has to be there to interpret that. And if you don't have documentation in place, I can tell you, uh,
Yeah. That's
father,
why.
father, mother, whatever, they're going to be very reluctant if they tell you anything, particularly once they get over 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let me
just
say
something to
something
think
real quick
about.
because I know it's like 10:45 now, and I know Sarah has a hard stop. I just wanted to let you know, Sarah, you don't know this, but you blessed me. All right. And the reason you blessed me is because of something that you said about your ADHD and having energy at a certain amount of time and then don't feel like doing anything after that. My wife, she was always energetic, but there would be times when she would just shut down and take a 15-minute nap. No matter what time, wherever she was, take a 15-minute nap and
Yeah.
then wake up and have that spurt of energy again. I could never understand that, but because you have shared this with me, so it made me understand that a little bit more. And one thing that really helped is that you said that you know you tell your husband just to tell you that everything's gonna be all right. I used to tell that to Candace, and I don't know specifically, but I think it made her feel better that we were going to be okay when things happen.
Mm.
I wasn't going anywhere. We're going to still do this together. So I want to thank you for that because that just helped reminded me of the love that we had. So
Oh, love that.
You were so
it
blessed.
means
You
so
don't even
much.
know. Yeah, you don't know how blessed you are for have had found someone like that to share your
Mm-hmm.
life with,
The experience.
because
I know.
it's I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, like, I do not see myself with anyone else,
Mm.
because I took, my husband is like, or people will say, "Oh, you guys are just so used to you." No, he has changed the way he thinks for me, and
Mm.
I've compromised on things that my, crazy things that I might do before. Now it's like, okay, let me tell him first. Let me slow down a little bit and see what he says. Because I got a dog.
I
Okay, because
see a nice little pup there.
well, actually, I got two, but I had one. I got one first, and my husband was diagnosed with depression, like, and anxiety recently. So I was like, okay, Sarah, don't shut down. You can do this. You've been there. You've done that. You have gone through anxiety. You can support him. And I got a dog, and I was like, okay, we got a dog, so we're okay. Then my ADHD kicks in, and this little girl comes in too. And he's like, no, why? Don't tell me we got another. I'm like, baby, it's a girl. We don't have girls. It's a, and he,
That's your baby
yes,
girl.
Funny.
yes, I was like, this is gonna be daddy's princess or whatever,
Oh,
trying to convince him. And he just, when I got Ruben, my first one, he was in the restaurant, and I have a video of him going, no, when I showed it to him. When I showed him her, he was like,
oh,
That's the kind
quiet
of
as a
logic Candace would have
mouse.
had. Oh, it's a girl. We don't have girls.
I know.
And now he kind of like just went quiet and then just said, she's very pretty. I'm sure we'll handle it. And I said, right, you see, you're positive. And I just, with my bubbly, and then people that know me will tell you, oh, Sarah's always smiling. She's always making jokes. She's always, the making joke part of me is when I get nervous, I will make jokes. There was a big issue in my house, and Rosa was like, Sarah, can you take this serious? I'm like, I am, but I'm nervous. I do this when
That's
I'm
how I
nervous.
react. Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, I have to make jokes. Like, I have to feel like everything is gonna be okay. If not, then I will become very anxious. So if
Yeah.
you ever talk to someone and you see that that person is trying to make jokes in a very hard situation, they're probably trying to soothe themselves to make sure that they're not going on a super stress mode. Just FYI for y'all, 'cause
Interesting. I like that.
yeah, this something to, what you'll see in ADHD people. We don't know how to put our feelings out there like we're supposed to, so we just kind of explode sometimes.
Yep. It just falls out.
But this has been a great conversation. I really enjoy talking to you all. So,
Yeah.
Thank you for
and
having.
Megan, I can't wait to meet you because I'm sure we're going to meet sometime,
Oh
right?
yeah, that'd be great.
So all of you live in the Memphis area?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. No, should make that happen.
Yeah, we're definitely going to
Yeah.
make it happen. So, if I know Johnny Field, there'll be a party coming up soon.
There might be. You know
Well,
that.
hey, listen, give me a week's notice, I'll bring the booze.
Oh, there
Oh,
we go.
Johnny will like that.
I like that.
I'm
Ready
Cajun. I can bring
for
crawfish
birthday, so.
etouffee.
Oh,
I can do
okay.
gumbo.
So,
Oh, wow. That's I'm on my way now.
Yeah, there we go.
do either of you have any questions you want to ask of us or anything else you want to say before we end all of this?
Well, I didn't want to answer Marlon's questions. I never forget questions. You ask me something and we can talk for 3 hours and I will still be like, okay, I need to answer that question. Marlon, Judy asked about the support part about your husband. I know Sarah spoke about how her husband had been supportive of her ADHD. With my husband, it took a little while for him to actually want to accept the diagnosis of Jacani. At first, he was just like, every child is different. You guys are just trying to put labels on my kids. La 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 la. It was hard.
Right.
Until I want to say she was like 4 or something when he actually like got to see some things. I think he was on vacation here at home and kind of got to see more of her. And he was like, okay, I see what you're saying. And I'm like, there we go. Now we can support her better because it's harder when it's just one side pulling and the other side is like, she's
Well,
fine.
sometimes, people are in denial until
Yeah, like
something
I was at the
triggers
beginning.
them to see, well, and this is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he finally came through, and I mean honestly, now that we have 2 girls, so his daddy's girl. So this girl, he every time that he's trying to get on her about something that she do, he tried to both kind of be the same, but
Right.
she just be on his face and be like, no sis, so he can touch her nose, and they I'm like, oh, I can't stand it.
I got a comment is that I'm not gonna get involved in internal affairs.
So yeah, so but outside of that, it's been great now that he's finally up to date, and honestly, he's been super supportive. Send me things. I told him that I might want to go to Mexico for a little bit to do this. Found some treatments that they put like in their kids' head and stuff like that, or whatever. And I was like, maybe I can go for a summer. He was like, let's work towards that. Let's save enough, stuff like that. So he's being super helpful when it comes to that.
So can Megan chime in? I just like to hear what Megan has to say.
About supportive spouses.
No,
they're
about
not.
anything. Is there any comments that you want to make about sitting in on this podcast or the things that you're going through? Anything. It's your floor.
Yeah.
Oh wow. ADHD, so many voices in my head right now.
I love that.
But I mean, it's such a blessing to have someone in your life that supports like that.
Mm,
Hey,
feel
you
for you.
still have a
Yeah,
group
yeah,
of
take
people
your
here
time. It's
that
all
we're
That's
good.
why we're
still.
here.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you this.
That's why we started this.
Yeah. A supportive spouse is just somebody that be in your house 24/7 right beside you. But outside of that, you have a community. Look how we're all building this
Yeah.
now.
Right.
You know, you have a community that they might not be physically there 24/7, but you can grab a phone and just call, or people that actually understand you.
And I live 3 minutes from your house, so you
Oh,
know.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Hey,
Yeah.
So
listen,
yeah, like don't.
I'm only 30 seconds on a Zoom call, so
Exactly.
And
I appreciate that.
they say it takes a community to raise a child, but
absolutely.
we need a community for those parents too.
Yes.
And that's what
Exactly.
we are.
Yeah,
Yep.
But Megan, what you just demonstrated is your passion to take care of your children.
1,000%.
I
And
say your
Mhm.
love for your
I'm praying
children.
for strength for you, okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yes, indeed.
She's a groomer, so FYI. So if
Really?
y'all got any, yes, my
Yeah.
girl is gonna do Ruben this Friday, tomorrow, and then as soon as she get her babies, she will get hers too.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, look at that.
I have a chocolate lab, so if you do those, I will absolutely would love to support you.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I can do a D shed.
Well, I think we should absolutely talk. So yes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Wow, so that connection, I like this.
Mhm.
Well, we may have to do this again and we may have to expand
Yeah.
it. We'll see. All
For
right.
sure.
But Megan,
I
Anytime.
want.
to
I
just
think it
say,
would be good if we do it again with the dads. Like I would love to invite my husband.
Well, we
yeah,
can do that.
that
We,
sounds good, but I want to just throw this out to Megan. Anytime, go ahead, Reggie.
no,
I'll say, Megan, anytime you want to reach out, just let them know, and we'll put a quick call together for you, okay?
Mhm.
For sure.
And
okay.
I would love to hear maybe more of Megan's story because we're thinking about, we're talking about two kids
Yes,
and
Right.
both of them
absolutely.
being nonverbal.
Mhm.
Yep.
It is
Right.
a struggle.
And
Like
a single parent.
Oh
it's
yeah.
being a single parent. So I will absolutely love maybe just do like a section with Megan. If she wants to have us support, we will be here. But I would love to hear more about it because listen.
That might be another episode that we could just have, called Super
Mhm.
Moms, all right?
Yeah.
Yes,
For
There you
sure.
go.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love
That's
talking about my
Yeah.
babies.
super mom.
Super Mom.
Yes.
All right.
And with a
It's
person with ADHD, if you take E and turn it sideways, it's S.
Turn it, mirror it, and it's a 3.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking. The 3.
So
I
I
could
also
definitely
have
see the 3.
dyslexia, and that's one of the things that I used to do as a kid. I would mix up which way the E and the 3 are, and I still write my E's like a backwards 3.
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I'll tell you something funny just in passing. I wasn't the best student in school, and I did used to get my papers in late. I can tell you this, that a E looks like a B if you're trying to tell your parents that instead of an F, you got a B.
Oh, it's easy to turn an F into a B. It's
That's
so
like
easy.
report cards they did with writing. So I tried that a couple times, and let's just say there were consequences because my father didn't believe that you could get a B through an F.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, we're gonna end up closing this, and I gotta say, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed all of you. The only
Thank
thing I
you.
dislike is, how old you guys make me feel talking about the old days in the 90s.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Back in the day,
I'm claiming it. I'm okay with it.
back in dial-up days.
Okay, well,
Oh, hey.
thank you all once again. That is it for this edition of the Caregivers Network. If you like what you hear, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If there is a topic you'd like for us to explore in the future, please add that to your comments. You can also check us out at cgn1.org and leave a request, a question, or a comment. Thank you for joining the Caregivers Network.
And remember to shoot for the stars. And even if you miss, you'll still be amongst your friends.
Awesome.
Love that.
All right,
Good
everybody.
afternoon,
Thanks
all.
you so much.
Talk to you soon.
Bye,